Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to do 5.5a tonight. We're going to do polynomial long division. It's kind of an entertaining process. And we're going to apply long division techniques to polynomial long division. So I'm going to use two different color pens today to help make this division process seem a little bit easier, I think. All right, so the first thing that I want to remind you of, if you're having trouble with a concept, I'm available before school and after school, most days. And it may only take a couple of minutes for you to stop by and say, I just don't understand this one thing. You might just need a little bit of a clarification, and then you could move on and be successful. So remember, if you don't understand something, you need to come in and see me so that I can help you. All right, so before we start doing polynomial long division, let's go back and talk about long division. I think you learn long division like in the 5th grade or something like that. So let's say I want to divide 15 into 3476. Okay, so big numbers. You probably haven't done long division by hand in a really long time. So the first thing that I do is try to divide the 15 into the 3. That doesn't work, so I do 15 into 34, and it goes 2 times. Okay, I made a mistake on my math. And when I multiply 15 times 2, I get 30, and then I subtract, and I get 4, and I bring down the next number, and I get 47. Okay, then I divide 15 into 47. 15 times 3 is 45, and I write it down. Then I subtract. 7 minus 5 is 2, and then I bring down the 6. Then 15 goes into 26. 15 times 2, 1 time. 15. And when I subtract, I get, did I do my math right? I think so. 26 minus 15, I get 11. All right, sorry, my brain and my hand weren't working together. So my remainder would be 11 over 15. So that's how we do long division by hand. But it's been a long time since you've done that. So now what we're going to do is take this process and apply it to something with polynomials. So we might have 3x to the 4th minus 5x cubed plus 4x minus 6. And we might divide that by x squared minus 3x plus 5. Okay, so sorry, it was crooked. I would rewrite this in long division form. I know it looks kind of entertaining, does it not? Plus 5, and I would divide it into 3x to the 4th minus 5x cubed plus 4x minus 6. Okay. All right, this piece right here is called the dividend. Sorry, the divisor. My bad. This guy, the guy underneath the house, is called the dividend. The answer, which is what we'll get up on the top, is called the quotient. And then when I'm done, I get a remainder. Sometimes my remainder is 0. Sometimes I don't actually get a value for the remainder, so sometimes it's 0. But this will be kind of how we're going to set up our problems. All right, just like when we did synthetic substitution, I need to have placeholders. So placeholders are very important. And that's going to be important for the dividend. Okay, so we need to make sure that we have our placeholders. Okay, and the remainder is always going to be a fraction. And it will be a fraction that has a value divided by the divisor. Okay, so that's going to be some of the components for a long division. All right, so now we're actually going to do this process, and I'm going to show you how I manage my math to help not make mistakes. So I'm going to rewrite the problem. I'm going to have x squared minus 3x plus 5, and I'm going to divide it into 3x to the fourth minus 5x cubed. I needed a placeholder at the 0x squared, and then I'm going to have my plus 4x and my minus 6. Sorry, I guess you couldn't see that. Alrighty. Couple of things to pay attention to. I'm going to do my math kind of over here on the side, so then that way you won't confuse the little math with the problem. Each time I'm only concerned about dividing the first term and the first term. The rest of these will come into play a little bit at a time. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 3x to the fourth and I'm going to divide it by the x squared, and I would get 3x squared. Okay, and I'm going to write that at the top. So 3x squared. The next thing I'm going to do, and I'll write this step down, is called multiply through. So I'm going to take the 3x squared and I'm going to multiply it by the divisor, x squared minus 3x plus 5. You don't need a box, you just need to distribute. So this is going to be 3x to the fourth minus 9x cubed plus 15x squared. Okay, now I'm going to write this down right here. So there's the 3x to the fourth minus 9x cubed plus 15x squared. I'm going to draw my line and then I'm going to subtract. Okay, and I'm going to write subtract right here, and then I'm going to write change signs. Technically, I'm subtracting this whole thing, and when I have a minus outside, when I distribute it, it changes the term of everything on the inside. Okay, so now I'm going to change my signs. Now I'm going to add. All right, see if I can make it a little bit more focused. So a 3x to the fourth minus 3x to the fourth is a 0. 9 minus 5x cubed is going to be plus 4x cubed, and then minus 15x squared. And just like long division, I'm going to bring down the next term. I'm going to write plus 4x. Okay? And now my work starts all over again. I'm going to draw a little line. Now I do 4x cubed divided by x squared. It's always the first term divided by the first term. Okay? When I divide 4x cubed by x squared, I get 4x. I'm going to write that at the top. Okay? Now I'm going to multiply through times x squared minus 3x plus 5. And I'm going to get 4x cubed minus 12x squared plus 20x. Okay? I'm going to write this down. So I have 4x cubed, can't see, my hand's in the way, minus 12x squared plus 20x. I'm going to draw my line. The next step is change the signs. That's a negative. Okay? It's really nice if you use a different color pen or pencil when you're doing that part so that you can go back and check your work later. Now I add. I'm going to get 12 minus 15 is a negative 3x squared. A negative 20 and a positive 4 is a minus 16x. And then I'm going to bring down the next term, minus 6. With long division, it's not difficult, but it is a little bit tedious. You want to make sure that you're very careful with your signs. Okay, now I'm going to draw a little line, start again. Now I have a negative 3x squared divided by x squared, and I get a negative 3. I'm going to write the negative 3 at the top, okay? And then I'm going to multiply through. So a negative 3 times x squared minus 3x plus 5. I get a negative 3x squared plus 9x minus 15. I'm going to write that down. Negative 3x squared plus 9x minus 15. Change the signs, plus minus plus. Then I'm going to get a negative 16 and a positive 9 is a negative 25x. And then a positive 15 and a negative 6 is a positive 9. I can't bring down any more terms, so my remainder is going to be a negative 25x plus 9 over my original divisor, 3x plus 5. Okay? So let me rewrite our answer down here. I would say that it equals 3x squared plus 4x minus 3 plus a negative 25x plus 9 over x squared minus 3x plus 5. And this is your answer. Okay? So that's kind of cool. Alrighty, so that takes care of that example. I'm going to draw my box, kind of give us a new place to start. And let's do another example. Okay? Alright, this time I'm going to divide x squared plus 2x minus 1, and I'm going to divide it into 2x to the 4th plus x cubed. I'm going to go ahead and put my zeros in so you don't have to rewrite this another time. It's really not happy focusing today. Come on, you can do it. Maybe that'll make it happier. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put the placeholder in so you don't have to rewrite it. 0x squared plus x and minus 1. You always want to make sure you get those placeholders in. Then I'm going to do my math over here on the side. So I take 2x to the 4th and I divide it by x squared and I get 2x squared. I'm going to write that at the top and then I multiply through. So x squared plus 2x minus 1. And I'll write the answer right here. So I get 2x to the 4th plus 4x to the 3rd minus 2x squared. You can almost see it. I'm going to write that down. So here's my 2x to the 4th plus 4x cubed and then minus 2x squared. Okay, draw my line, change the signs, minus plus. Now add a negative 4 and a positive 1 is a negative 3x cubed plus 2x squared. Bring down the next term plus x. Okay, divide again, so a negative 3x cubed divided by x squared is going to give me a negative 3x, and then I'm going to multiply through plus 2x minus 1. That's going to give me a negative 3x cubed minus 6x squared plus 3x. I need to write that down. Minus 3x cubed minus 6x squared plus 3x. Next step, change the signs. Positive, positive, negative. Okay, so I have 6 plus 2 is going to be 8x squared minus 2x minus 1. Okay, and I'm going to come over here because I'm kind of running out of room on the other side. Now I'm going to take my 8x squared and I'm going to divide it by x squared and I get 8. Uh-oh, I forgot to write a number on the top. Here's my negative 3x and there's the plus 8. My bad. Now I'm going to multiply through, so x squared plus 2x minus 1 to get 8x squared plus 16x minus 8. I'm going to write that down, x squared 16x minus 8. Okay, next step is change the signs, minus, minus, plus. So 0, this is a negative 18x, 8 minus 1 is plus 7. I don't have any other terms to bring down, so my solution is 2x squared minus 3x plus 8 plus a negative 18x plus 7 over my divisor x squared plus 2x minus 1. And this is my solution. Okay, see if I can get it focused a little bit better. Alrighty, so it's not a hard process, but it is a lot of pieces to pay attention to. Alright, I'm just going to do a couple more examples for you. And drink some hot chocolate. It's yummy. Alright, so our next example, I'm going to do x cubed minus x squared plus 4x minus 10, and I'm going to divide it by x plus 2. Okay, oh, sorry. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to do my division. Okay, I'm going to do x plus 2, and I'm going to divide it into x cubed minus x squared plus 4x minus 10. One of the things that I would caution you about when you're doing long division is not trying to skip steps, because when you do, we make mistakes, and a sign mistake can throw the whole problem off. So now I'm going to start. I do x cubed divided by x, and I get x squared. I write it down, and then I multiply through. Okay, and I get x to the third plus 2x squared. So I'm going to write it down, x to the third plus 2x squared, change the signs. Okay, so now I have a negative 3x squared plus 4x. That was the term that I brought down. Now I take a negative 3x squared and I divide it by x, and I get a negative 3x. Write that up at the top. Now multiply through x plus 2 to get a negative 3x squared minus 6x. Being really careful with your signs. Write it down, 3x squared minus 6x. Change the signs. 6 plus 4 is 10x minus 10. That's the next term that I brought down. Now I'm going to do 10x divided by x, and I get 10. Write it at the top. Multiply through. Very rhythmic. And I get 10x plus 20. Write it down, 10x plus 20. Okay, change my signs, negative and negative, and I get a negative 30. No more numbers to bring down. So my solution is x squared minus 3x plus 10 plus a negative 30 over x plus 2. So they're not hideous problems. They do just seem to take a little while. All right, I have one more problem for you, and then I'll give you, I have one more example for you, and then I'll give you your problems. You only have 3 problems tonight because they take a little while. All right, this time we're going to divide x plus 4, and we're going to divide it into x cubed plus 6x squared plus 5x minus 12. Okay? And this is where that one ended, so we don't get them confused. So now if I take my x cubed and I divide it by x, I get x squared. Write that at the top, and then I multiply through x plus 4, and I'm going to get x cubed plus 4x squared. Write it down. Draw my line. Change my signs. 6 minus 4 is 2x squared. Bring down the next term, and we're ready to start over. Okay? 2x squared divided by x is going to be 2x. Write it down up top. Now I multiply through x plus 4, and I get 2x squared plus 8x. Write it down. Change the signs. Change, change. A negative 8 and a positive 5 is a negative 3x. Bring down the next number, which is your negative 12. Okay? See if I can get it to focus a bit better. Alrighty. There's the whole problem. Now I take my negative 3x and I divide it by x, and I get a negative 3. Write it up top. Multiply through, and I get a negative 3x minus 12. Write it down. Draw your line. Change the signs, and I get 0. So this is our first problem where we actually got 0 for our remainder. So my division is going to equal x squared plus 2x minus 3 with a remainder of 0. And that would be my answer. Alrighty, now let me give you your 3 problems. So just fewer problems today because they take a little bit longer. Lucky dogs. Alrighty, here are your problems. You're going to use long division. make sure that you report your remainder as a fraction, or if it's 0, please write remainder 0. Your first problem is going to be 8x squared plus 34x minus 1. You're going to divide that one by 4x minus 1. Your second problem is 7x cubed, 11x squared, 7x plus 5, and you're going to divide it by x squared plus 1. Okay, oops, I guess it helps if you can see it. Okay, one more problem, having technical difficulties. All right, last problem. You're going to do 4x to the 4th plus 5x minus 4, and you're going to divide that one by x squared minus 3x minus 2. Make sure that you use your placeholders on this one, otherwise your answer will not work. Alrighty, good luck, and I will see you in class tomorrow.